and immigrant communities, or the mass deportation agenda that's separating families, disappearing people, undermining due process, and harming our state's economies and communities. Pass New York for All now. Pass New York for All now. New York for All, today, today. New York for All, without delay. New York for All, today, today. New York for All, without delay.
Hi everyone, my name is Cass. I'm with the New York Immigration Coalition.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Iridian Riccobono Lucas. I'm the campaign coordinator with Columbia County Sanctuary Movement and youth organizer with Adelante Student Voices.
Ni lluvia ni viento detendrán nuestro movimiento.
Ni lluvia
ni viento
detendrán nuestro movimiento.
Not even the rain nor strong winds will stop our movement. Thank you all so much for your energy and for showing up today. We're excited to be making noise with you today for New York for All.
Governor Hochul, Speaker Carl Hastie, Majority Leader Andrew Storr-Cousins, and legislators. We are nearing the end of this legislative session. 2 days in the Senate, 1 week in the Assembly. All eyes are on you. Our communities are facing unprecedented attacks. We demand our lawmakers show the same courage that our immigrant neighbors do. Pass New York for All. New York State leadership has to do the right thing. Protect immigrant New Yorkers by passing New York for All. You have the power to put an end to the complicity between our state and Immigration and Customs Enforcement that has been violating the rights of immigrant New Yorkers and tearing apart our families and our communities. The New York for All Act would protect immigrant New Yorkers, preserve state and local resources for our communities, and ensure that New York's dollars cannot be diverted to supporting and carrying out a cruel, politicized immigration agenda.
That's right.
Unfortunately, New York State leadership has been failing to take action and passing this common sense legislation. And because of the failure to take action, you all have seen the horrifying videos of ICE agents brazenly violating our rights, brazenly breaking open the doors and the windows of folks that are exerting their constitutional rights, interrupting court offices and detaining folks without giving them the opportunity to see their day in court. And also detaining people in front of their very own families, traumatizing US-born citizen children, and even families and children that are just right there watching as well. We are watching this happen right in front of our eyes. ICE is blatantly terrorizing us and our communities and is actively undermining due process for thousands. Is this right?
No!
I said, is this right?
No!
New York for All, now.
Are you doing one more? No, you're good. We want to make this very clear. Our community should not be living in fear for simply living their daily lives, going to school, operating businesses, clocking in at the local farm to harvest the food that we eat on our table, and for contributing to our communities. The challenges we face today are stark. The reality is that we've been up against a larger force that needs all of us to actively push back. We are standing in a crucial moment together. From across the country, we are seeing harmful federal policies that are actively targeting and hurting immigrants, both documented and undocumented, especially in New York. There are anti-immigrant billionaires in control of the White House, and this should be a wake-up call for leadership. The time has come for New York leaders to make clear choices about where and whose interests they'll prioritize. Will you stand with immigrants who are integral to the fabric of our nation, or the anti-immigrant federal administration that's violating the rights of our own communities? We need our elected officials to actively fight and resist harmful federal efforts designed to hurt all New Yorkers, because when they come for one of us, they come for all of us. And this is not just about rejecting policies, but about offering real, tangible solutions to the issues that immigrant New Yorkers face daily, like the New York for All Act. New York for All would ensure the dignity of New Yorkers while also building trust between the agencies that serve us and our communities. So let's make that happen. Can we do it?
Yes!
¿Podemos hacerlo?
Sí! Sí se puede.
So now I'd like to invite some of our guest speakers today, and I want to shout out some of the elected officials, the champions that took time to come here and join us in solidarity. So can we give a round of applause to our elected officials standing beside us? Wonderful. Our first speaker is Assembly Member Tony Simone.
Thank you. I'm Assembly Member Tony Simone. I represent the west side of Manhattan. Thank you to all the advocates here. Give yourself a big round of applause. What's happening right now in our nation is un-American. So many are angry and afraid. My mom is Latina from Peru. We have undocumented cousins who are literally living in fear, and that should not be. We have cowards in the White House, evil cowards. This sniveling Stephen Miller, who dictates policy, they have a quota to deport 3,000 people a day. Human beings, moms that take care of our kids, fathers who construct our buildings and moms, people who feed us to go to war with us. They're not going to reach that number by arresting what they call so-called criminals. They're going after legal immigrants. Overstaying your visa is a civil offense, not a criminal offense. Seeking asylum is the American way. But right now, these so-called cowards in the White House and their minions who fail to speak up not only threaten our way of life, our democracy, but our fellow New Yorkers, our fellow Americans. That is unconscionable of what they're doing. It's unimaginable that we are here today, disappearing people without due process simply because of your opinion on a war. Ensuring that moms are separated in front of their children. If we did that to their family or their kids, they would not be so brave. But we all know what their goal is. It's called white supremacy. We all know what they want. We know what that theory is. I will not name to give it any credit or any credence. We're a nation of immigrants. It makes us strong. What they're doing right now is making us weak. And what's happening in LA and cities across this nation is a good thing. People should rise up, be nonviolent. Don't feed into what Trump wants. Don't feed into their fascism. They want you to break the law. They want you to be criminals, and you should not be. You are freedom fighters. The only criminals part of this equation are the people running the White House. Too many Americans have been convinced that immigrants are the problems. The problem is they don't have solutions. If they had a solution, we'd have comprehensive immigration reform. We'd have a path to citizenship. And on the state level, we have to be braver than we've been. Democrats need to lean into this issue. Affordability is an immigrant issue. Delivering for our constituent is making sure our immigrants are protected. How dare they come after our democracy? And as someone said earlier, and we'll keep saying, we're going to keep fighting. We need to pass New York for All Act and other legislation to protect immigrant New Yorkers, because when you come for one of us, you come for all of us.
Thank you so much, Assemblymember Simone. I'm going to pass it over now to Assemblymember Claire Vasquez.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much to the advocates for being here. I know some of you made a very long journey to be here to show your strength and unity in this moment. That's exactly what we need. My name is Claire Valdez. I represent District 37 in Queens. I live in Ridgewood. I represent Ridgewood. And last week, one of our high schoolers who goes to Grover Cleveland was taken during a routine immigration check-in. His family is in absolute despair. When we say that these actions tear families apart, this is not an abstract concept. It is real. And if we can appeal to the humanity of the leadership of this state, the humanity of the leadership of this country, to ask them to put themselves in the position of imagining the person you love more than life itself being ripped away from you and taken thousands of miles away. Can you imagine? I'm here today to represent my district and my neighborhood, a proudly immigrant neighborhood and district in Queens. I'm here to call for my colleagues to show the same courage that my neighbors are showing every day, that so many people are showing every single day, who do not have the protections that we have, to stand up to this administration in a moment when our neighbors in our communities are hurting, are frightened, don't know if they can go to school, don't know if they can go to the immigration check-ins they have to go to, don't know whether or not they should follow the law, if they will be punished for doing that. What we are asking for is very simple. We are asking for New York State not to give resources, not to contribute our resources to this deportation machine that is wrecking people's lives. That is what New York for All is. We have days left to do this. We are not even leading in this fight. Other states have already done this. We can show our neighbors that we have their backs in this moment when they have nowhere to turn. I ask leadership and my colleagues, please, we have days to do this. Let's please pass New York for All. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Assembly Member. I'd now like to pass it over to Assembly Member Marcela Mitaines, longtime champion for this bill.
You are hearing and you are listening to what is happening. And this is not an accident, but it is intentional. The fear that they are instilling is purposeful for their mission. They don't like the way that I look simply because of the color of my skin. Our neighbors are frightened. They're scared. We're seeing the numbers drop in school attendance. Our businesses are starting to get concerned about their workforce. This is happening so that we can turn a blind eye and get used to it. This is happening because they want to whitewash what the United States and what New York is. And we will not allow that to happen. It is our differences and our diversity and our commonness in wanting to try and find a better life for ourselves that bring us here and unite us. This is the capital of the world, and the world is watching. To Kathy Hochul, from one mother to another, from one grandmother to another, from one immigrant to another, your people are speaking, and they're speaking loudly. Now is the time to lead. Esto es muy personal para mí. Al ver cómo terrorizan a nuestra gente, a nuestras comunidades, quieren que esto sea normal. Que nos olvidemos de lo que está pasando. Pero es claro que el mundo está viendo lo que está pasando, no solamente aquí. Estamos viendo lo que está pasando en California, estamos viendo lo que está pasando en Texas. El pueblo no lo va a permitir. Nos vamos a levantar, vamos a alzar nuestras voces. Y para los inmigrantes y los ciudadanos también que están sintiendo miedo, no están solos. No se olviden de su poder, no se olviden de su fuerza y lo que nos trajo aquí y nos hace seguir luchando. Para adelante, mi gente, siempre para adelante, porque este no es nuestro hogar y este también es nuestro país. Aquí estamos.
Y no nos vamos.
Y si nos echan,
Nos regresamos.
aquí estamos.
Y no nos vamos.
Y si nos echan,
Regresamos.
we are not going anywhere. This is our home and we will stand up and fight. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblymember Mateus. It is always a pleasure to hear you speak. I'd like to welcome Assemblymember Sarahana Shrestha to speak now.
Thank you so much. My name is Sarahana Shrestha. I represent the Mid-Hudson Valley, where many parts of my district have appeared on the list of Homeland Security because of our refusal to give in to the ICE agenda. I just want to start by calling out 75 Democrats in Congress who signed a letter in appreciation of ICE and calling for more local and state collaboration.
Hey!
What is the point of running for office and campaigning saying, I'm going to stand up to Trump, and when the time comes, you don't? Not only do you stay neutral, you actually take the most embarrassing and shameful and pathetic route of taking the side of someone you know deep inside is wrong. ICE should not exist. ICE is not doing anything for our community. There is no reason for us to support or appreciate ICE. We have people who sent us to Albany, to Congress, because even though individually we may not have a lot of power, we have so much power than what an ordinary person can do on their own, and we should be doing everything that is at the limit of that power. It doesn't matter if we fail. What matters is whether we tried or not. And there is no excuse for not having tried. There is no excuse for participating in a self-fulfilling prophecy of our own defeat and demise. People are disillusioned with our democracy. People are disillusioned with elected officials because as a body, as a group, we rarely seem to make decisions of what is right. We spend too much time worrying about what the opposition is going to put on the mailer, whether or not we're going to lose our election, who's going to spend money against us, and that is not the thing that we should be worrying about when we are in this powerful position. So, I am here to call for the passage of New York for All, and I am also here to remind everyone, especially my colleagues, that some of the most transformative wins we have had in the history of this country were not popular at the time. They were not popular at the time. We would not have women's right to vote if we waited for everybody to approve the women's right to vote.
That's right.
There are some things that we take the initial step on because once somebody has taken that step, we can build that consensus, we can do political education, and we can actually point people towards a democracy that is not rooted in hatred and division, but that is rooted in solidarity and building coalitions that can take the 1% down, and that's what we need to do here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Assemblymember Shrestha, and thank you for bringing up. This is a delegate's letter from 9 New York congressional delegates who came out with a letter calling on our leadership, calling in our state's leadership, urging the passage of New York for All. They are seeing what's happening at the federal level. They are seeing what's happening in their district, but something isn't connecting. Something isn't connecting, and our legislators, our state leadership is not acting on this and not passing New York for All. In this delegate's letter, they state that we cannot stand idly by while their constituents, while your constituents and colleagues are ensnared by the Trump administration's mass deportation dragnet. And the legislature must take action. 2 days for the Senate, 1 week for the Assembly. You have congressional delegates calling on our state's leadership to build up that courage to protect our communities. Can we count on them to pass this session? I'll now pass it over to my colleague, Cass.
Thank you, Iridian. We also want to give it up to the folks who are on the ground, who have been consistently showing up when we see instances of collusion, whether it's here in Albany or elsewhere across the state. I want to invite my colleague, Jahaira Rowland, Manager of Organizing and Strategy in the Capital Region with the New York Immigration Coalition, and a powerhouse who has been there every step of the way and has been there for the community here in Albany always.
Thank you, everybody, for being here today, and thank you for the introduction. My name is Jahaira Roldan. I am the Manager of Organizing and Strategy for the capital region. And welcome to my city! This city was built on immigrants. Albany was built on immigrants and the Black revolutionaries that came before us. What we're seeing today is an attack on immigrant communities. We have examples of collusion in Cohoes, in Schenectady, in Bethlehem. Do not think that because we are far away from this building, that Albany does not see you. We see you. We see you taking the easy way out and not standing with us today. Remember that just because we might not have voted for you does not mean we are not your constituents. New York for All should have passed. It will pass. In a time where you are attacked just for driving in your car. This is an inhumane attack on our immigrant community, and it is blatant. They are looking to scare us back into the shadows. But what they don't know is that we were never afraid. We were here before them, and we will be here after them.
That's right.
I stand with Little Ecuador. If I cry, it is because I am sick of waiting for this bill to pass. I stand with the south end of Albany. I stand with Southern Boulevard. I stand with 2nd Avenue. And you will continue to see us rising up. And when it is our turn to vote, I hope you know we will remember the representatives that did not stand here with us today.
That's right.
New York for All must not only pass for the state of New York, but for Albany. And I hope you know that we will be back if it does not pass. Aquí estamos y no nos vamos. Y si nos echan.
¡Nos regresamos!
Gracias a ustedes por venir por mi comunidad. Represento a la comunidad ecuatoriana en la parte de Southern Boulevard, la 2ª Avenida, la avenida de Delaware Avenue. Represento a todos mis ecuatorianos. Estamos aquí, no nos vamos de aquí.
¡Sí!
Thank you, Jahaira. Thank you for your leadership. Those are the leaders of tomorrow. Those are the leaders now. This is the courage that we need. This is the courage that our electeds need to display for New York for all. Thank you, Jahaira. I'd now like to invite Assemblymember Emily Gallagher to share some words with us.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Assemblymember Emily Gallagher, representing Williamsburg and Greenpoint in Brooklyn, a community that was built and cared for when New York City disinvested in it by immigrants, a community that was held together when nobody wanted to support my community. It was the immigrant communities that kept the lights on, that kept the public services there, that fought against disinvestment. And I stand here as a Gallagher whose Irish family came here out of conditions similar to what we see in Palestine. And I am here to say that it is not about solving the fascist state that we are faced with. It is about fighting them to the death.
That's right.
This is a white supremacist presidential organization. It is all written out in Project 2025 that they want to get rid of everyone that doesn't agree with them and everybody that is not white and everybody that is, not heteronormative. And we will not stand for that, and we will not stand idly aside while they tear apart families, tear apart
and try to make us all terrified.
That's right.
And I am standing here as a white woman telling other white women, our bodies need to be on the line.
Yeah.
It is us who have long held the power, and it has long been used for racist ends. If you ever wanted to call the manager on ice. And New York State will make this, we must make this happen. New York State, we must pass every single bill, whether or not they're gonna follow it at the federal level, because we have to fight for our people. We have to show that New York was a center of the American Revolution in the 1700s, and it is a center of the American Revolution today. We will not go quietly, and I'm calling on my colleagues to help support me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Assembly Member. Thank you so much, Assembly Member. I'd now like to pass the mic to Assembly Member Farah Sufran Forrest.
First of all, I want to thank the people standing in the rain right now for your staunch advocacy. It is very difficult for me sometimes to sit in a chamber full of people with last names that I can clearly tie to other countries. Let's talk about it.
Yes.
When it was their turn to come in with those Italian last names, those Polish last names, those English, the Irish last names, French too, there was no problem. The Statue of Liberty held up the torch for them. You, my good friend from Russia, you, my good friend from even now, Ukraine, welcome. Here's the red carpet. But because my name now is Farah Sufran, and I represent and I stand for other people with names like mine, I'm told not only you are not welcome, you have a ban. And I stand up for all the other 11 countries that are now banned from coming in. But you know also what that ban says? You can't leave. So whatever discrimination, whatever racism you get here, sit down and take it. Well, we are here to say we ain't taking this.
That's right.
We are not taking it. As a New York State legislator, it is imperative that I call out my colleagues to pass New York for all. It is simple. When they talk about their tax dollars, you would see them. You would think that it was in their budget right there. Every month, my tax dollars is going here. My tax dollars is going there. Well, sir, madam, your tax dollars is going out through different enforcements around this state to lock up people that look like me. So let me call out. Let me make sure you understand the hypocrisy behind what you're saying. You like me when I stand up in front of you with my baby, Farah Sufran Forrest, you're cute, you look nice. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support, your advocacy. But when it comes down to the Archils behind me, the Lamonts behind me, the Celestins behind me, where you at? Where are you? The Riveras, the Gonzaleses, where are you? Where are you? So don't tell me about the importance of tax exemptions if you don't understand the exemption we're calling out here. Don't take us. Don't take us on our state dollars. It's
of it. I'm tired of the hypocrisy. You want a safe seat? Do your job.
Yeah.
You want to feel comfortable? Do your job. Stand up and stand up for the new Americans. Just like people stood up for you when you came over in whatever boat, plane, swam, I don't care. But you came out and you were supported. So stand up and support us now. New York for all now. What do we want?
New York for all.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
New York for all.
When do we want it?
Now.
When Haitians are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Hispanics are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Mapuche is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When you are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When I am under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Yes, New York for all.
Let's show that same energy and that same love to Isaiah's student and youth member with Adelante Student Voices and the Columbia County Sanctuary Movement.
A few days ago, someone asked me, why do you support New York for all? Well, my answer is simple. It's because New York for all wants to protect the most important person in my family, my mother. My mother is terrified of something as simple as going to Walmart just to get the groceries or get her nails done. She lives with a constant fear that if she gets pulled over for something as simple as a broken taillight, she might get deported. This is something that should not be happening. This is something that no one should be afraid of. No person in this country should live with a fear or exercising their basic human rights. And just like this campaign says, New York should be a place where everybody is free, where this country, in this New York State, is a place for all. I came here today with one thing, and that is passion. Passion to see New York for all passed. Because this bill gives people something real powerful, which is hope. I wanted it to pass so so I don't feel afraid to go to school. So my mom can go shopping without having fear. My mom always tells me, take your social security card with you, just in case. I carry my social security card more often than I do with my phone. That shouldn't be normal. That shouldn't be normal for any teenager or for anybody in this country. But hear this truth. Many legislators know this bill is the right thing to do, but they're afraid. None of this, not of the bill, but of losing their political seats. As someone once said, too many politicians are more concerned about their re-elections than doing what is just. We cannot let the fear dictate policy. We need leadership that is brave, enough to stand with people right here and right now with us. Not just it's convenient, but especially when it's hard. New York for us is not just a policy. It's a promise. A promise that in New York, we protect our neighbors. That no one has to live in fear. That we stand for all. So today I ask you, everybody, and I ask you, Governor Hochul, will you be bold with me? Will you stand up? Not just for me or my mom, but for every family like ours. Woo! That's all I gotta say for today.
Thank you so much, Isaias. I'd now like to pass the mic over to Assemblymember Harvey Epstein to share some words and remarks with us.
So we all know that we're really living in difficult times. The federal government is undermining everything we believe in New York. The federal government is attacking our values every single day. Day after day, crisis after crisis coming out of Washington. We see what's happening. We see what's happening in California right now as we speak. And we have the opportunity right now in New York to stand up for what we believe in, to say what we value, that we love and care for our neighbors and friends who might be undocumented. We care for loved ones in our community. We care for people who came here 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, 20 years ago, for whatever reason they came here. My family came here because they're fleeing Europe. They're fleeing oppression and a Holocaust that was killing millions of people. That story is the same story that exists today for so many people coming to New York. The question we have to answer is what the response is. What do we do in New York for those people who've come here out of fear? What opportunities do we have today in New York? The federal government is going to do what they do, but New York must stand differently and say we care about New Yorkers and pass New York for all of us. We have only 6 more days of session. That is it. In 6 more days, we will leave Albany, and we will have passed what we passed, and will not be back likely this year. And what are we going to say to the millions of New Yorkers who are vulnerable, who are at risk if we don't pass it? What are we going to say to those families and loved ones who didn't get the support that they needed? This is our moment. In difficult times, we need to stand up for what we believe in. This is one of those times. Let's get the bill done now. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblymember. I'd now like to bring it home to a champion that we have in Albany, Assemblymember Gabriela Romero.
Thank you. My name is Gabriela Romero. I represent the 109th Assembly District, which is here in the city of Albany, but also Guildford and New Scotland. I love New York for All. I've been representing people here. We've been doing intake. ICE is here in the city of Albany, but it's also in the suburbs. ICE has been up and down these streets, Central Ave in the city of Albany, but just last week, ICE was in the suburbs in Guilderland. ICE was at a school bus stop. And they, shame
on you.
And they picked up someone right in front of children that were coming off of a school bus stop. And those children are forever scarred. And people ask me, why do I support New York for All? I support New York for All because when I was elected to the 109th Assembly District, I was mandated to represent every single darned person in the entire 109th Assembly District.
Yes!
And that means every single person. And I don't give a damn what your immigration status is. I represent every single person. And when I'm doing intake and I'm listening to families that are being ripped apart, and I'm listening to people that no longer have their mothers and no longer have their husbands, and they don't know where they are, that hurts. And I'm speaking to business owners that no longer have crucial parts of their business. What are they going to do? People don't realize the impacts and the trauma that this has on families, that this has on businesses. This is ripping people apart. We need New York for All today. We needed New York for All yesterday, but we really needed New York for All last year. And so we're here with a very, very, very serious ask, but we have a really serious demand, frankly, that we need to pass New York for All this session because there are going to be really, really serious repercussions if we don't. And I'm worried about the really serious problems for our economy, for our children, and for the impacts on New York State if we don't pass this. So let's see what happens.
Thank you so much, Assemblymember. I want to take a moment to thank all of the advocates, all of the legislators that stood with us here today to demand that New York for All be passed. We cannot go another summer, we cannot go another fall without these protections. The summertime is one of the busiest times for the immigrant community, where lots of different industries are prospering. The construction industry, the restaurant industry, right? These are all different industries that are going to be absolutely popping, that are going to be absolutely busy with work. And imagine a summer without having the protections of New York for All. Imagine a summer where there will be more collusion between our law enforcement that's supposed to be protecting all of us, not just a few of us, of our state agencies colluding and sharing immigration with customs and immigration enforcement. We cannot afford to go a summer, we cannot afford to go another season without these protections. And like someone just mentioned earlier, what are you going to say to us when we come back here next legislative session if this bill does not pass? What are you going to say to people like me who are trying to pass New York for All to protect their families? You got it. This hits a lot deeper than people realize. There's a personal story behind so many of us here today. There's a personal story behind me. As a daughter of Mexican immigrants, as a DACA recipient with a mixed status immigration family, was fighting for the basic decency of protections for their community. I will remember folks that do not stand here and support New York for All with us. We have the real momentum, the real opportunity, the congressional support to pass this bill in the state, but because of the lack of political will, the political courage, some electeds are going to just choose to stand idly by and not pass this protection. This is going to actively hurt my family, my community, the Hudson Valley, the city, Long Island, up north. So I'm calling from, I think, the deepest bottom of my heart and the deepest bottom of all of our hearts, and ask that the legislature, the Senate, the Assembly, leadership, we are pleading that you take a stand with us, that you pass New York for All, and not let another session go by without these protections. So I want to thank you all again for joining us this evening. And thank you all to our community, to our advocates, to our champion legislators, and thank you to our marshals who also were here protecting us and our safety today. So thank you to our safety team. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all.